pretty high though. Tell me.
Do you have any preference of horizontal pictures or vertical?
In general, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we have to think about what we use it for. It's Twitter, Facebook is more squarish, I suppose.
So then,
Facebook, the website is horizontal. Twitter, Instagram is portrait, I suppose.
such as
Yeah. Anyone else I want a picture with? Haha.
right?
I'm thinking if there's anyone else I want a picture with. Chiara? Chiara is too busy now.
Let me see.
The
So
hair
I
is
shouldn't
in the
really
middle.
take pictures of anyone sitting in the lighted picture.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if you want to have any like feel of the room.
Yeah, maybe over there, these guys.
Just look at the other lens. That okay?
winners, friends tuned in online, welcome to the 14th edition of the Charlemagne Youth Prize competition. My name is Chiara Paglieri. I am a former winner from 2008, and today I have the honor to be the master of ceremony for 2 years, 2020 and 2021. Thank you so much for making the way to come to this ceremony. And when it was 2008, we had the honor of having Angela Merkel handing us awards. And of course, today the scenario looks completely different. We're at the dawn of a different championship. And today we can award incredible people that still believe in the European Union and have worked tirelessly for the pursuit of the same. Of course, due to COVID, we're going to have, unfortunately, a couple of restrictions. We're going to have to be always distanced. You can, of course, remove your masks once you're seated, but please do wear them once you are on stage and you're walking around. Today we are awarding 57 winners, people that are incredible throughout the year, but have shown incredible resiliency, specifically during COVID times, which is of course something unprecedented. Today we also honor their teams that are not able to be with us today, and so for this reason I would love to begin the ceremony by welcoming Mr. Thomas Prefi, who is the chairman of the Charlemagne Youth Prize competition.
Ja, Frau Präsidentin, verehrte Gäste! Im Namen der Karlspreisstiftung, des Direktoriums und auch im Namen der Stadt Aachen begrüße ich Sie sehr herzlich zur Verleihung des Europäischen Karlspreises für die Jugend 2021. Wie so vieles in den zurückliegenden 1,5 Jahren ist dies eine Premiere. Naja, aber in diesem Fall eine Premiere, auf die wir uns ganz besonders gefreut haben. Denn nachdem wir in den vergangenen Jahren nicht gemeinsam feiern konnten, zeichnen wir heute gleich 2 Jahrgänge aus. Wir haben 54 nationale Gewinnerprojekte 2020
national winning projects from 2020 and 2021, and the best news is that 52 have made their way here, healthily, cheerful, vaccinated, recovered, or tested.
Begrüßen Sie mit mir die Hauptpersonen des heutigen Tages, die nationalen Gewinner des Wettbewerbes um den Europäischen Jugendkarlspreis 2020 und 2021. Ihnen allen ein ganz herzliches Willkommen hier in der guten Stube Aachen im Krönungssaal. Wenn ich von Gewinnern spreche, dann heißt das, dass sie alle sich in ihren Heimatländern gegen vielfach sehr starke Konkurrenz durchgesetzt haben. Insgesamt wurden knapp 800 Projektvorschläge aus allen Mitgliedstaaten eingereicht und die Zahl der Jugendlichen, die an diesen Projekten beteiligt waren, geht in die Tausende. Das finde ich also jedes Mal sehr beachtlich, was für eine Bewegung der Jugendkarlspreis geworden ist. Und wenn wir heute das Scheinwerferlicht nicht im gleichen Maße auf alle diese vielen Projekte richten können, wenn wir auch einige Projekte besonders prämieren, legen wir doch großen Wert darauf, dass es hier keine Verlierer gibt. Der sportliche Gedanke zählt, es gibt 54 Gewinner. Wir freuen uns.
In sport we always say that there are 54 winners, no losers. So we're delighted.
Ja, der Erfolg des Jugendkarlspreises steht und fällt mit der Teilnahme und Unterstützungsbereitschaft der jungen Menschen in Europa. Aber der Jugendkarlspreis wäre überhaupt nicht denkbar ohne die Mitträgerschaft des Europäischen Parlaments. Wir haben das ja
without the sponsorship of the European Parliament, and we've done it again this year. So I'm delighted here to be able to welcome amongst our special guests from the Parliament. First of all, the Vice President of the European Parliament, Katerina Barley. It's a real honour for us to be able to welcome you here in Aachen today. And I'd like to thank you for the support of the Parliament. And, of course, that means you and all your staff who've also been involved in this prize. So it is a huge amount of support. Hans-Gert Pöttering, one of the fathers of the European Charlemagne Youth Prize, is here today. And, of course, I'd like to thank you for your many years of hard work and the fact that you're here today. And another father of the Youth Prize unfortunately passed away in 2015. That was Andre Leisen. But we're delighted that his daughter is here today, Dr. Bettina Leisen. Very pleased to have you here today. And then the Ambassador of Romania, Your Excellency Adriana Staniescu. It's an honor that you're here today. Ladies and gentlemen, in 2016, when we awarded the prize here in this wonderful place, the awarding of the traditional Charlemagne Prize used to happen in Rome. We're very surprised, though, or delighted that the Youth Prize will be given here. The coronation room of the town hall is the right place to pay tribute to. I'm delighted that we're here, and let me welcome the Mayor, Madam Sibylla Kuipen. There is a big link between the Youth Prize and the International Prize. There's been a more than 70-year tradition. The chair of the Academy, Dr. Jürgen Linden, is aware of these links, and I'd like to welcome him here too. I'd also like to greet Dr. Tim Kuttermeier, a town councillor from the Regional Council, and previous Mayor Marcel Philipp. But today the focus is the 54 winners who represent the European spirit of Jean Monnet, Robert Schuman, Konrad Adenauer, and many others. So it is a privilege to be here with these young people. When I think about when I grew up, a key moment for me was the fall of the wall, Schengen, and the euro. Obviously, that is history, and each generation has to find their own European keystones for themselves and define their European spirit. And I think this is what we want to celebrate with the Charlemagne Youth Prize and the projects that we're going to see today. I think we're in a good position to hand the torch on to the next generations. Thank you very much. Madam Barlow.
The national winners. The European Parliament gives a number of prizes, but the Charlemagne Youth Prize is special, is different. It is the only prize that we are involved in that is specifically dedicated to young people. And if we all say every day that the youth is our future, is the future of the European Union, then it is this prize that makes this spirit come alive. The young people are the hope for Europe and the world at large in so many aspects. And we need this hope because we are facing several crises. As you all know, financial crisis we have overcome more or less. We have the climate crisis and, of course, now the corona crisis. So we have a lot of things at stake at the moment. And if we mention the corona crisis, we really have to acknowledge that it has hit young people particularly and in a very specific matter. Pupils who have to learn at home with their parents as teachers, which is difficult, as I know myself. Students who wanted to enter life as an adult and now get thrown back to sitting in their children's room at home, not being able to meet their comrades at the university, etc. So these young people have suffered specifically, and therefore I'm very pleased that this generation of young people now are here to receive the prizes. And we have seen a larger outcome in projects, which could be kind of astonishing. We've had 377 projects in 2020 and 414 in 2021. So maybe with the specific time, I don't know, one has thought of more ideas, but it has probably been more difficult to get together and to set up all these projects. So all my respect for this. We've received projects from all member states and in very different areas, from arts festivals, physically and online, sports competitions, Erasmus University students working as volunteers to clean up the surroundings of their university complex, just to name a few. So it's all, they all have something in common, that it's about solidarity, about culture, about environmental protection. It's about values that we hold up in the European Union. So they all have this extra dimension of promoting European and international understanding, solidarity, cooperation, and this is what this prize ultimately stands for. Before I actually end, we only have like a few minutes. I have one thing I really want to tell you. I would like to encourage you to participate in the conference on the future of Europe, which is going on at the moment, because we need especially your young voices there. It's about making Europe better. It's about listening to people, and we have to listen especially to the young people. So please, if you leave this place after having known all these other wonderful, inspiring people from all these other different member states, maybe this is a project that you could tackle together, because we really, really need this. Your projects made you national winners, and it's an example of what being an active citizen means. It's representing the European spirit. You can be very proud of yourself. We are proud of you. We want to congratulate each and every one of you. And I would like to express my specific thanks also to all the people who have been involved in all the different bodies on the European or national level here in Aachen also, who made this possible. And I would like to thank our moderator, who has been, as she already said herself, the prize winner in the first Charlemagne Youth Prize in 2008, and has now, meanwhile, become a senior governmental conference director. So you see where this path can lead you of winning a prize. And I will hand over to you again, Chiara. Thank you.
What is really about being a European Charlemagne Prize competition winner? Every year we gather winners from every single country, and we spend together a weekend where we get together and discover different projects, as well as the opportunity to truly see who are the leaders of the future. So now we're going to have a look at a video of how it would look and usually like our weekend together.
Welcome all to Aachen.
It's not really important that, to win this prize. The prize is to be here.
The future of Europe depends on the younger generation of people who will meet in places like these and discuss.
A shared vision of working together.
And that's also what this Karlspreis is a beautiful example of.
I think it's super important that the youth civil society is connecting themselves and joining their common ideas.
It's always a great opportunity for youngsters all over Europe to come together.
Really, it's inclusion and access.
And it's cool to make international friends and
see if we can organize something together.
It's something that can develop our societies and is rich fullness.
It is so important because we are the future.
So as you can see, we've had an highlight of 2018 and 2019 winners. And now we're going to go into the description of 19 projects. Unfortunately, due to the heavy number of projects, we won't be able to have our winners on stage. But we're going to have, of course, the time to honor all of them and ask a couple of questions to some of them. So for the 2020 year for Malta, we are awarding the European Civic Education with Sara Bonisi. Please, a round of applause. And for 2021 Malta, we have Buy a Meal. And I would like to ask Marcus Behrman, who is the recipient of the prize, could you please tell us a little bit about the project?
Sure, thank you. Good morning. JCM Malta is a federation of young leaders and entrepreneurs, and we learn leadership skills. And during the hardest month of the pandemic, we put them to good use and launched the Buy a Meal campaign. Within 2 weeks, we came up with a website, collected donations from civil society and local businesses, and fed 150 people for 4 months during the strictest lockdown, and saved 10 to 20 restaurants from the brink of bankruptcy format.
Thank you so much. What was the biggest challenge to overcome, and how did you overcome it?
The biggest challenge was to connect local businesses that wanted to donate, to recruit restaurants that were up to the challenge and not give up during the pandemic, and to find vulnerable people who were willing enough to come forward and say, I need important step for them to.
For 2021 Poland, we have the project participation of its first-time voters during the European Parliament elections, represented by Bartosz Bryski. A round of applause, please.
Parliament elections, and the aim of our project was basically encouraging people to vote during the European Parliament elections, especially encouraging the so-called first-time voters. In fact, our project consisted of 3 smaller events: a scientific seminar for high school students, a social media video campaign organized with the help of Erasmus students from all around Europe, and a scientific conference. In total, we reached out to over 16,000 people, and our videos were shared in many European Union countries.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So just going forward, I'm just going to ask some winners to give us a quick overview. I'm sorry, we're very short on time. So for 2021, we have the Warsaw Athens Model European Union 2020, represented by Yogimbabi Rajendra. A round of applause, thank you. For 2021 Portugal, we have Coimbra 2019 International Forum of European Youth Parliament Portugal, represented by Arthur Chicoro. For 2021 Portugal, the other one was for 2020, we have the first digital session of European Youth Parliament Portugal, represented by Margarida Conceição. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Romania, we have Bucharest EU Children's Declaration, represented by Nava Novasescu. For the year 2021, we have Romania, Generation Z, represented by Ilinca Pavel. Ilinca, could you please give us a quick overview of your project?
Hello, thank you. Generation Z is a project made out by some volunteers from my high school, Colégio Nacional Habitazo. We are future doctors, IT specialists, activists that share the same European values of unity as Charlemagne. Generation Z was built step by step on curiosity. We evolved naturally. When the pandemic hit, we thought it would end us, but we discovered a new opportunity. We could go beyond Romania, beyond Bucharest, and we can invite speakers from international countries like the USA and the Netherlands. We also think that for a student from the age 14 to 18 years old, the word citizen doesn't really have a meaning without looking up online. So Generation Z put them into direct dialogue with different personalities from Romania International, like Ms. Mirbayan, Adrian Titieni, and we connected cultures and made them very engaged in our community. We believe that the earlier the dialogue begins, the better the chances of living in peace together.
Thank you so much, Elena. For year 2020 in Slovakia, we have the Pan-European project My Europe, My Say, represented by Elena Michalkova. A round of applause, please. For 2021 Slovakia, we have Create and Govern, represented by Michaela Gnosova. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Slovenia, we have Ljubljana 2019 5th National Selection Conference of EYP Slovenia with Klara Kođeli. For 2021 Slovenia, we have Ljubljana 2020 6th National Selection Conference of EYP Slovenia with Marko Jakangeli. For year 2020 Spain, we have U-Education, a different approach, represented by Claudia Cerezo Hernandez. And for 2021 Spain, we have Your Inclusion, and I would love to invite Mr. Eros and also Mr. Carlos to give us a quick overview of their project.
Thank you very much. We are from Spain. We are Euro Inclusion for to join the disability people in Europe. We have a new flag for the international disability and overboom. We are very happy to stay here in Aachen when we have the first representing painting in the cathedral, one person with syndrome. Please, you.
I'm from Spain. My for it is inclusion to young people in Europe and to the international para for disability people. Thank you very much.
Gracias, Eros. Thank you. For 2020 Sweden, we have Youth Conference of the European Youth Parliament Sweden. And for 2021, we have European Stories for a Union of Volunteers represented by Paula Gers. Paula, could you please give us a quick overview on the project?
So hi, I'm Paula, representing our project from Sweden, and during lockdown times we started to feel very disconnected from each other. So that's why we started a podcast about the European Solidarity Corps. In this podcast, former and current volunteers share their experience and inform about the process, considering the community building with each other and also with the listeners. We aim with this to spread the word of solidarity among Europe and among the European youngsters. So we inform volunteers, but the next step is then to inform also about inspiring projects like we have here in our podcast.
Thank you so much. For year 2020 in Netherlands, we have the European Deaf Youth Capital 2019, represented by Caroline Smits. Round of applause, please. For 2021 Netherlands, we have the Lockdown Economy, represented by Julia Skupchenko. Julia, could you please give us a quick overview of your project?
Yes. Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So I represent the Lockdown Economy. It is a non-profit social grassroots initiative to help small businesses overcome the COVID-19 pandemic. The main challenge of the pandemic is the isolation, and for small businesses, it's crucial to be connected to exchange ideas freely in their entrepreneurial life. So basically, since May 2020, we started a remote video interview series where the small businesses would share their challenges and especially the ideas on what are they doing to fix it themselves. That way, we facilitated the global brainstorm among all small businesses in the world to reactivate the economy. And we covered 42 countries in 17 languages and over 350 entrepreneurial stories, and got recognized by the United Nations as the acceleration action towards the Sustainable Development Goals. In June 2021, we presented our initiative at the United Nations Conference on Small and Medium Enterprises.
Thank you so much. And last but certainly not least, we have for 2020 the prize for the UK, The Future is Europe. And I would like to ask Madeleine Kay to please give us a very quick overview of the project.
The Future is Europe is the defiant statement that I chose to make in the face of Brexit. Because I do not believe that Brexit is the future for the UK, because the youth voted for Europe. My project comprised of this book of artworks from my tour of the EU in 2019, a documentary with activists from across Europe who are fighting for the future of Europe, a music video, and a painting. And the message that I wanted to send with all these creative channels was that Brexit will not crush our vision for the future, and to Europeans to please treasure what you have as EU citizens, make the most of the opportunities that the EU provides you, and keep fighting for the future of Europe, because one day the UK will be back.
Now I'd love to introduce Mrs. Sibylle Coupen, who is the Lord Mayor of Aachen, on stage. Please, a round of applause.
We've been talking about firsts here, and it's a first for me today too. Not just being here and being able to talk to you for the Charlemagne Youth Prize, but also because I've been so moved by your commitment, by your enthusiasm. So thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Today, it's my first time awarding the third prize, the Charlemagne Youth Prize. We've seen in the last clip that we belong together.
Zum Ausdruck, in welcher Spannung Europa gerade ist, und zeigt, wie vielfältig unser Land ist, sei es die Herkunft, die Hautfarbe, die Größe, die Sprache, die sexuelle Orientierung, das Geschlecht, die religiöse Prägung. Wenn wir alljährlich diese Vielfalt zu einer lebendigen, festen Gemeinschaft zusammenbringen, weil sie die gleiche Denke haben und weil sie den gleichen Traum träumen. Der Traum Europas, der Traum der Freiheit, der Toleranz, des Rechtes, ein Europa der Vielfalt, dass diese Vielfalt in allen Facetten durch die Jugend Europas lebt. Diesen Traum von Europa haben wir uns über mehr als 7 Jahrzehnte hart erarbeiten müssen. Und diesen Traum lassen wir uns nicht zerstören. Und diesen Traum leben wir weiter mit der Jugend, durch die Jugend und durch den Jugendkarlspreis. Nun ein Blick auf die GewinnerInnen der dritten Preise, die ich nun ankündigen darf. Da ist zum einen eine absolut selbstbewusste lebenshungrige
Firstly,
junge
we
Frau,
have a young
die
woman
durch
who is
Europa
hungry
gereist
for life, has
ist,
travelled
zumindest
through
vor der
Europe,
Pandemie, als
is
dies noch
very
möglich ist,
self-confident, travelled at least
die,
before the
wie sie
pandemic when
selbst
it was still
gesungen hat,
possible,
immer wieder auf der Straße
who
kampfeslustig das
always took the
Europa der
battle to the
Zukunft
streets, as she sang
gezeigt
herself,
hat,
has shown
die den
that Europe
Kampf
has a
aufgenommen
future,
hat
who's
für die
taken
weitere
up the
Beteiligung
torch
ihres Heimatlandes,
for
das sich der
her
Solidargemeinschaft
native country
entzogen
to
hat,
continue,
auf sich genommen hat.
and it's been a long road for her.
Wie sagt sie selber,
As she says herself,
und treffender können wir es auch nicht beschreiben, wir dürfen nicht zulassen,
to say, but
dass
we
durch den
can't
Weggang
allow
Großbritanniens der Faden aufreißt, der die Europäer
for us
unter
to be
dieser warmen Decke der
separated from our European
Träume
identity,
durch
so our
Einheit,
comfort blanket
Wohlstand,
of
Liebe und
unity,
Frieden
love
miteinander
and
verbindet.
liberty,
Und
future of
wissen,
Europe, that
dass sie
Europe
für
is the
immer
future,
Europäer
and
sein
that
werden.
everyone in the UK knows that
Ich glaube,
we'll
dem
always be
können wir nichts
Europeans.
hinzufügen.
I don't think there's anything we can add to
Diese
that.
Aussagen und der Film haben mich sehr berührt.
Pronouncement
Der
clip
Jugend Europas
moved me
zu der
deeply, and it
großen
shows how
europäischen Idee
deeply
hin.
European youth is keyed in to the thought of the European
Auf der anderen
ideals.
Seite ist da ein ebenso bemerkenswerter, starker junger Mann.
On the other hand, we
Der
have
junge Mann,
moved
der
us
den
all
Begriff
with
der
enthusiasm for
Integration
dance
nicht nur auf die
and
Einigung
victory,
der EU-Mitgliedstaaten bezieht,
who doesn't
nein,
just
er bezieht
think of
sie auf die
unification as the
Inklusion,
unification
auf die
of
absolute
member states. No, who thinks of
Verbindung der
unification
Vielfalt der
as
Menschen in unserer Welt.
inclusivity, of uniting the different
Er
peoples of
schreibt,
this world.
wir wollen, so
He
sagt er,
says,
dass junge Menschen mit
we
Behinderungen
want that
alle
young
ihre
people
Fähigkeiten
who are
in der
disabled,
gesamten
who have
europäischen
disabilities,
Gesellschaft
can
bei
make use of
uneingeschränkter
their
Gleichheit und
abilities
Würde
in the
gegenüber
European
der
Union
übrigen
with
Gesellschaft
their
unter
equal
Beweis
rights
stellen können.
respected.
Und genau das
And
hat
that
er
is
sehr
exactly
eindrucksvoll
what he
getan.
has done, and most
Europa
impressive.
lebt von und durch seine
Europe
Vielfalt.
lives through
Danke für diesen
and
Beitrag.
in his diversity. Thank you for your
Der
contribution.
dritte Preis, die dritten Preise des
The third
Wettbewerbs
prizes
Europäischen Jugendkarlspreis
in the Charlemagne Youth Prize 2020 and 2021 are worth €2,500 each. They go firstly to the Future is Europe from Madeleine Kay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Madeleine?
21 goes to Spain, Euro Inclusion, and its representative Eros Venezia.
Thank you so much. Eros, stay, Eros. Stay, please. Thank you so much, Mrs. Sibyl. Please a round of applause for Mrs. Sibyl. Thank you. Now, Eros and Madeleine, please approach the stage. How are you feeling? Please, if you can speak into the microphone, that'd be great. Oh, okay.
I guess coming to this award ceremony in Aachen is communicating and working with the United Kingdom. It is always right to keep fighting for what you believe in.
Thank you. México. Of amigos México, gracias por todo y verte.
Gracias. Thank you so much. Where we honor incredible people, but it's also a display of this. Thank you very much, Lucas, for this great performance. We're now going to announce the next 17 winners, and we're going to follow the same format. So for 2021 for France, we have Collective for Civic Service, represented by Benjamin Sibyl. Benjamin, can you give us a quick overview of your project, please?
Hello to everyone. So I'm Benjamin Sibyl. Like I said, I'm from France, and I founded the Collective for Youth. But what we wondered is that how opportunity to actually enter in European mobility, beyond the Erasmus, beyond the European Solidarity Corps. And the answer to this is actually European cooperation. So we made European Solidarity Corps to offer a unique experience of doing 6 months at home of volunteering, solidarity, intergenerational solidarity, social and so on, environment of course, and then only go to another member state to continue this experience. And with the French presidency to come, we hope to achieve more. Thanks to you.
Merci
Thanks.
bien. For 2021 France, we have Fight COVID, the Scholar Electronic European Parliament simulation, represented by Alexandre Schon. A round of applause, please. For our host country, for 2020, we have European Archive of Voices, represented by Nora Sefa. Nora, could you please give us a quick update?
We're a group of young Europeans. It's a transnational project based in Germany, but it's transnational. And we conducted interviews with so-called witnesses of Europe. That's people that were born before World War II. And we asked them questions on values, on religion, on family, on war, and everything they experienced in their lives. And of course, about the European Union and the European idea and the future of Europe. And the idea was to kind of look for collective memory, European memory, and maybe a new narrative next to the political narrative of Europe.
What was the biggest challenge you encountered?
Well, you can imagine it's older people, and during the pandemic, of course, I wanted to keep them safe, and it was difficult to conduct interviews at that time. So we managed to finish some before, but yeah, that was the biggest problem.
Thank you so much. Thank you. For 2021, always Germany, we have treffpunkeuropa.de, overcoming borders in times of social distancing, which is represented by Julia Bernard. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Greece, we have their 13th EFPSA European Summer School, Communication and Learning in the Digital Age, represented by Antonios Tsiglekas. A round of applause, please. For 2021 Greece, we have SOS for Love Project, Actions with the Power of Love of the UN SDGs, represented by Marios Tomias. For 2020 Hungary, we have Here We Are, represented by Judith Holba. A round of applause, please. For 2021 Hungary, we have Volunteering for AI, represented by Rita Gorfi. Rita, if you could please give us an overview of your project.
So hello, my name is Rita and I'm from Hungary. I participated in this project as an ESC volunteer because I was born in Romania. I experienced the culture shock of this project. I worked with 21 volunteers from 8 nations, so it was a good opportunity for me. And we organized a lot of culture circle. We were talking about our culture and conversational clubs and yeah.
What was the biggest challenge you faced?
Yeah, I think the COVID situation. But we try to do the programs in online platforms.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For 2020 Ireland, we have the European Youth Parliament 2019-2020, Engage in Youth in Politics, represented by Rosie Nelson McGaig. A round of applause, please. For 2021 Ireland, we have the Honest Magazine, represented by Andrew Lyons. Andrew, could you please give us a quick brief on your project?
Honest Magazine was set up by a group of international students who felt that we were underrepresented in the Irish media. We come from a very mixed background across Europe and internationally, and from different backgrounds like queer societies and stuff like that. So we decided to release a monthly issue of a free pocket-sized magazine distributed around Ireland for people to pick.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. For 2020 Italy, my home country, there is Let's BIM, the international meeting, represented by Valentina Scorza. Valentina, if you can please give us a brief on your project.
Yes. We are born to connect young employees, international and local, living in the same city, Bergamo. In the last 3 years until COVID in Bergamo, we organized PowerPoint presentation to share values of European countries. And we meet every week, once per week. Our project is very challenging because we create a very big community, European community, Europe just in one city. We also made Bergamo more international, and we have a format that you can use in every city in all Europe. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Valentina. You, represented by Shema Akrum. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Latvia, we have Ventspils 19, the 17th National Conference of the European Youth Parliament Latvia, represented by Margaret. For 2021 Latvia, we have Young Citizens, represented by Aija Gelina. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Lithuania, we have Think French, Regional and National Conference of the European Youth Parliament Lithuania, represented by Dominikas Brudzas. Round of applause, please. For 2021 Lithuania, we have Developing a More European-Oriented and International Education System in the Lithuanian Austria Adrianavičiūtė. A round of applause, please. And for 2020 Luxembourg, we have Europe Between the Lines, represented by Steve Duarte. Steve, can you please give us a brief on the project?
I'm Steve, I'm from Luxembourg, and I represent the youth house of Gasbridge in Luxembourg. So our project was about culture. So in the media, we often see a political and economical Europe. So we focused on art, and we did some paintings about every European country. So after this, we exposed the paintings in the Maison de l'Europe of Luxembourg and in the Embassy of Luxembourg in Brussels. And yeah, it's really important for us as a youth house to make European projects, because our youth of today is the Europe of tomorrow. So thank you.
Thank you so much. You may have noticed that you have handsets on your chairs in case somebody needs any translation. There is German for channel number 1 and English for channel number 2. Now it gives me the biggest pleasure to now introduce our special guest of honor, who is the former President of the European Parliament and also the godfather of the European Charlemagne, Mr. Hans Potter.
Participants of the Charlemagne Prize 2020-2021. Ich kann hier nicht stehen, ohne an eine Persönlichkeit zu erinnern, die wirklich der Vater des europäischen
said that Europe can only have a future with a young generation, and that's why today respect to him. And then his daughter Bettina is here with his father. Bettina, your mother, your father, Andre Leisen, who've always supported you. I'd like to wish you all the best for a swift recovery, and I'd like to express full tribute to your father. I think it was 14 years ago when Andre Leisen made the proposal in the European Parliament to have a Charlemagne Youth Prize. It is now my honor to
introduce the winners for 2020, not to say who it is, and then the winners for 2021. And afterwards, I will ask both winners to come and join me here on the platform. The winners 2020 had the idea of creating a network between the countries of the EU. At the beginning of the network, it was made up of representatives from France, Belgium, Germany, Italy, Spain, Portugal, Romania, and Poland. And I think it is really touching that Poland or Romania are there as well, because we need to bridge the cultural differences between the West and the East, and we have to know that we share common values. This project was about linking up a national volunteering service with a European Solidarity Corps. The idea was that young people should gather information, not only, first of all, in their own country that would be of service to society, but then they should gain some experience from other countries in the EU. If I've understood correctly, in this project, it isn't only about bringing together students and academics, or graduates, but it's also about younger people who haven't had such opportunities, and to help foster a European spirit through this project. The contents of the project are that we should gain European experience, and that we need to organize civil society both in our countries and Europe, that we need to be active citizens so that we can all be aware of the fact that we share European values, that we want to have a united Europe, that we have a common understanding, and that we all know that despite the fact that there is a lot that we have a lot of differences, that actually it is in unity that we can move forward. Now, I have to be careful not to say the name. The name should only be revealed at the end. The second project is one that's been developed by secondary school pupils from a secondary school that's been running for over 100 years. This project brought together young people from Luxembourg, Germany, Belgium, Romania, and then also Italy, Albania, finally India, Canada, Singapore, Mexico. What is particularly special about this project is that it promotes intergenerational dialogue. These young people talked to Andrea Tătieni, the Romanian actor, and also the special representative of the United Nations Refugee, UNHCR, Nisrin Ubayan. They were able to talk about refugees. They talked to Dimitra Urmatia, the first Romanian cosmonaut, and Bogdan Rened, the writer, in order to be able to have exchanges on the most important subjects of the future, the new media, new social media, and fake news. And we know that our European future has to always be based on the principle of truth that has to prevail. And I'm quite sure that we will be successful if together, despite our differences, together we are able to promote and defend our values and human dignity. The European Union, of course, is not paradise on earth, but we should be aware of the fact that freedom, tolerance, the dignity of the person is the best side of the world, and that's what we need to defend, and this is what falls upon the shoulders, in particular, of the young generation. So could I ask the winners to come and join me here for 2020 from France, the project Collective for a Civic Service. Congratulations. for 2021 from Romania, the project Generation Z. I'm assuming Z stands for the future, Zukunft.
Thank you so much, Mr. Pottering. Thank you so much, Mr. Pottering. Thank you for believing in European youth. Thank you for supporting the Charlemagne Youth Prize for over 15 years. Dear winners, how are you feeling?
Well, Mr. Pottering, thank you very much. It's a real honor for me to be here.
I think a bit surprised, but I think it's also well-deserved, not so much for me, but for all the volunteers who managed to make this project happen. Like it was said, our goal, our challenge, it is to actually build a European cooperation between the National Civic Service of Germany, of France, of Italy, and now we also diffuse those type of schemes in new countries like Malta, Poland, Greece, Romania, hopefully. So we try to kickstart those type of pilot projects and make them work with the European Solidarity Corps. It's a big challenge, but we are very determined to achieve this with all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Congratulations again. I see somebody is in live.
We are very grateful that we won, especially because it was the idea to apply for this project was by surprise. So we announced on Facebook and we didn't thought that we were eligible, we didn't knew what it was all about. But people encouraged us, and we wanted to say a big thank you to our college that supported us and offered us a space where to develop this project. We realized today that we hit a milestone in our life. We would also like to thank our team and everybody that put their faith in us, and we want to thank the European Parliament for this initiative and this framework. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our winners. Now we have awarded the first two main prizes, and now we're going to go into another musical interlude, which is going to be presented by Luke Pan and his partner Helena Jung-Gun-Chang, performing Nightclub 1960 by Astor Piazzolla. Thanks again, Luke and Elena. We're now going to present the third batch of winners. So for 2020, for Austria, we have the first cultural forum of the European Parliament Austria, represented by Philip Lin. Philip, can you please give us an overview on the project?
Yes, so our cultural forum, which happened in 2019 in the rural region of southeastern Austria, brought together young people from all over Europe, and they discussed European issues of our time, the consensus and results-based approach, and that with a backdrop of a cultural focus on the rural region of southeastern Styria and cultural exchange in general, which we hoped facilitated cultural and democratic understanding among the participants and the region.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. For 2021 Austria, we have the Global Youth Biodiversity Network, represented by Giulia Testa. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Belgium, we have Young Feminist Europe, represented by Leonie Wetzel. Leonie, can you please tell us about your project?
Young Feminist Europe is a platform led by young feminists from all across Europe and the rest of the world. And we aim to amplify young feminist voices through movement building and advocacy campaigns with centering an intersectional feminist approach. And yeah, we deal with topics like LGBTQI+ rights, gender-based violence, or sexual health and reproductive rights. One of the major challenges that we face is that young feminist activists are notoriously underfunded and systematically excluded from decision-making and agenda-setting spaces. So this is something that we really want to address. And for the past 2.5 years, we have been strengthening young feminist leadership in regional and local advocacy spaces. For example, we are the co-lead of the Action Coalition on Feminist Movements in Leadership from the Generation Equality Forum.
Thank you so much, Leonie. For 2021 Belgium, we have Understanding Europe Belgium, represented by Daniela Tupati. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Bulgaria, we have Treatment Without Borders, represented by Marta Antonova. Marta, could you please tell us about your project?
Hi, so Treatment Without Borders is a project aimed at helping citizens in need of treatment abroad, beyond the borders of their own country. And in the 8 years since our founding, we've helped over 500 patients with their need of treatment. We have over 350 volunteers in 20 countries. Most of our volunteers are either university students or young professionals, and what they do is they provide on-site assistance to the patients with translation in medical settings and anything apart from that. That includes on-site support in finding their way around the city and so on. All we do is on a purely voluntary basis, out of love, if you will, and we hope to help.
Thank you so much.
Some more people.
For 2021 Bulgaria, we have Modern European Union Sofia 2021, represented by Maria Ivanova. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Croatia, we have the Summer University, represented by Wouter Borjan. Wouter, could you please give us an overview on your project?
Good morning, my name is Wouter and I'm representing the Summer University project of Asia Europe, which has been running for 32 years already. And every year it's organized by hundreds of volunteers all over Europe, in which they organize summer universities in summer of approximately 2 weeks, ranging from a lot of different thematic areas where all of Europe could basically apply to, where they can meet different cultures, discover Europe, integrate new skills, and most of all connect with everyone throughout Europe, basically on a voluntary and best approachable way.
What was the biggest challenge you faced?
During Corona, it was especially because, well, we believe in the Europe without borders, and because COVID happened, a lot of borders actually closed. So we had to figure out how can we still have the open borders, how can we implement our project and still make sure that everyone feels safe and can enjoy Europe as we want it to be.
Thank you so much, Wouter.
Thank you.
As you can tell, not even COVID could stop our winners. For 2021 Croatia, we have intercultural theater in theater represented by Daniela Spoljaric. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Cyprus, we have Coffee No Exchange represented by Andrea Marina Alexiou. A round of applause. For 2021 Cyprus, we have Active Youth During the Pandemic, represented by Stephanie Sankovic. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Czech Republic, we have the regional selection conferences in Tabor and Uherské Hrdlice 2019, represented by Hanna Vycherkova. A round of applause, please. For 2021 Czech Republic, we have Faithscape, represented by Teresa Krakmarova. Teresa, could you please tell us about your project?
So, hello everybody. So I'm going to speak about Fakescape. What we do is that we focus on media literacy, fake news and disinformation. As we know, it's not only a problem in Czech Republic, but also in every country in the European Union and everywhere in the world. So we decided to teach students, elderly people, and almost everyone how to verify information. We created our own escape games and also a card game. And during the pandemic, we also prepared e-learning course for students where they trained their own superheroes, and through that they learned something about media, fake news, and how to spot disinformation.
What was the biggest challenge you encountered?
Yeah, I think COVID, because we are based on personal attendance in schools, and we couldn't do that. So that's the reason why we created e-learning course too.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. For 2020 Denmark, we have Odense 2019, third national session of the European Parliament Denmark, Discovering New Shores, represented by Mia Cecile Pedersen. A round of applause, please. For 2021 Denmark, we have a Unified Europe, Vela 2020, fourth national session of the European Youth Parliament Denmark, represented by Sara Huseby. A round of applause, please. For 2020 Estonia, we have the Summer University Time Travel Through the Flatlands, represented by Ingelis Siemens. A round of applause, please. For 2021 in Estonia, we have Don't Avoid What Is Easy, represented by Anastasia Lemberg-Lovla. Anastasia, could you please tell us about your project?
Yeah, it was a series of exhibitions. It started in Italy, went on to Armenia, and then to Estonia. I basically asked 100 young Europeans what is they want to change in their home Europe. It could go from something small, like more trees in my home street, to I want to change our foreign policy as a union. And then I did an open studio in a gallery in Tartu, and an exhibition with 6 paintings, portraits of the people who were answering the question, and video of them answering those questions in more detail, and some cards that I have with me that you can read later that also talk about their wishes. So it was all about what do you, as a young person living in Europe, want to do to make it for the better of your home.
Aside from COVID, what were the challenges that you encountered?
I don't think they're COVID related, it's funding. I put 5,000 of my own money into it that I made, and I got 500 from the state, so that needs to change.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. For 2020 Finland, we have the Young European Federalists Finland's Castle Seminar. And for 2021 Finland, we have My Digital Europe, represented by Monika Ratinen. A round of applause, please. Given the heavy number of projects, unfortunately, this year, we couldn't really focus much on our usual format, which really gives a lot of time to the winners to tell us about their projects. But anyone who's interested, of course, of digging deeper, we're going to have a booklet with all the projects where you can learn more about the initiatives and, of course, who's behind them. Now, we are coming to the moment we're all waiting for, which is the announcement of the first prize winners for 2020 and 2021. And so it gives me great pleasure to welcome in again on stage Dr. Barley. A round of applause, please.
Thank you very much, Chiara. I'm excited myself. As you are all aware, the European Charlemagne Youth Prize is awarded to projects which promote European and international understanding, foster the development of a shared sense of European identity and integration, or serve as a role model for young people living in Europe, offering practical examples of Europeans living together in one community. All of your amazing and innovative projects have indeed given emphasis on our common understanding and shared sense of European identity and integration. It was therefore quite difficult, and I say that being a jury member, to single out the 3 European winners out of the excellent projects that became national winners. The simple fact that we are here together today is the result of a historical event, namely the creation of an international prize for the most valuable contribution to European understanding back in March 1950. Over the years, many men and women have been awarded the Charlemagne Prize, Jean Monnet, Simone Weil, Emmanuel Macron, to name just a few. However, in 2007, the members of the Charlemagne Prize Society felt that Europe's youth should be put in the spotlight by rewarding them with a prize highlighting their projects with the European spirit. In 2008, the first edition of the European Charlemagne Youth Prize saw the light. We can therefore say that the older generation realized the importance of listening to the younger generation. But we can all learn from each other. We all have so many stories to tell. With this in mind, a group of young people between 20 and 35 wanted to hear from the older generation and started gathering testimonials about Europe from subjects born before 1945, from as many different European countries as possible. They went out interviewing mainly people in the public eye, such as journalists, political activists, artists, intellectuals, scientists, diplomats, trade unionists, and religious community representatives. Their initiative has become a virtual space for reflection on how the European idea has shaped the lives of men and women throughout Europe. I believe it was probably very interesting and inspiring for the participants, and it will be interesting and inspiring for their users, and it is a project that will last. So congratulations to the first prize in 2020, and I will only say the name of the winner later. But you can already give a hand of applause to the winner. Who knows who it is? And the winner in 2021 focused on a very, very important issue. Because today, more than ever, we're getting news through all possible channels of communication, whether it is television, radio, newspapers, or especially social media content. And out of all of this information noise, it can be very difficult to identify which part is real and which part is fake. And could you imagine how difficult this must be for teachers to teach to this subject to students without ending up in a very boring class environment? So would there be a way to make it more attractive, this topic, for students? You could make it almost real by giving students the opportunity to take on the role of journalists, who play a crucial role in this fight between truth and manipulation, facts and disinformation. This innovative learning approach offers students an adventure during which they will face manipulative techniques, they will have to verify the information, and they will have to look for and recognize high-quality sources. At the same time, they will practice cooperation and teamwork. This teaching method helps our society with media literacy and critical thinking, while having fun and learning at the same time. High school students get to understand how to reveal fake news, think critically, and how to verify the information by using game-based activities. Through the combination of board and escape game, young people get to learn how fake news, disinformation, and manipulation work. The creators of this project believe that an interactive way of teaching is the best technique and the future of teaching, and we shared this view. So it is a project that tackles media literacy, one of the big democratic issues of our times. So please, it's my great pleasure to announce the winners of 2020, which is the German project European Archive of Voices. And the 2021 winner is the Czech project Fake Escape.
Thank you, Dr. Barlai, and thank you also, Mr. Preffi, who is going to hand both medals to our winners. Thank you so much, Dr. Prifty, and thank you so much, Dr. Barley. Thank you so much. Dear winners, first prize, how are you feeling?
And also our interviewees who are an advanced age and who can of course not participate. And the organization Arbeit in Europa, who did all of this. So I'm only representing them all.
Sure.
Thank you.
How will you use your prize going forward? This platform, of course, gives you a lot of visibility, so have you thought the way forward?
Yeah, I think we will spread awareness about the fake news much more than now, because I think it's interesting and so important topic for everyone, because if you don't trust media and if you have many disinformation and fake news around you, you just don't trust to anything. And we only need to know what's the best for us, and I think that's media literacy also. Like one part of the things we need to do is to be more media literate.
Perfect. If you could please stay on the stage, I would also like to invite the second prize winners and the third prize winners to come on stage, please. And also Dr. Barley and Mr. Prefty for photo memory of this time. While everyone comes on stage, we will have all national winners approaching the stage later on, and they will receive their medals from our VIPs. And after that, we'll unfortunately have to come to an end, but it's been a fantastic pleasure to be here today with you. And we will wrap a little later on. And we are together. Perfect. Thank you so much. Now we'll call all our winners to approach the stage, not to come on stage, but just to do a catwalk and receive their medals from our VDAPs. So may I please invite 2021 Austria, Julia Testa, to approach the stage and receive our medals. For 2020 Austria, we have Philip Lein. 2021, Belgium, Daniela Tuspati. Yes. No, they will pass you. Yes. Thank you. For 2020 Belgium, Leonie Wetzel. A round of applause. I think we'll have to clap for quite a long time. For 2021 Bulgaria. Bulgaria, Malta Antonova. Cyprus, Andrea Marina Alexiou. Denmark, Karatinen. 2021 France, Alexander Schultz. 2020 Italy, Valentina Scorza. 2021 Malta, Marcus Benner. 2020 Malta, Sara Bonucci. 2021 2020 Poland, Bartosz Bryski. 2021 Portugal, Margarida Conceição. 2020 Portugal, Arthur Cicorro. 2020 Romania, Dana Novasescu. 2021 Slovakia, Michaela Noxova. 2021 Slovenia, Marco Giacangeli. 2020 Slovenia, Clara Kukali. Hernandez. 2021 Sweden, Paula Getz. 2021 the Netherlands, Julia Shevchenko. Thank you so much to our VIPs for awarding our winners. Thank you for our six three-prize winners. Please, you can go back to your seats. This has been, by all accounts, the proudest event that we've ever had at the Charlemagne. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you at the 14th edition. We very much look forward to having you at the 15th edition of the Charlemagne Youth Prize. As once Roosevelt said, we cannot build a future for our youth, but we can build our youth for the future. And I can safely say that Europe is in great hands thanks to our winners and to all their teams back in their countries. Thank you so much, and it's been a great pleasure. Last but not least, I want the biggest applause for our incredible team. First of all, the Charlemagne Foundation, Mr. Bernd Wicken, who is in the back, our mastermind for the event. As well as Kristen Clem, Leo, Patrick, and everyone who's been supporting the event, Thomas. Of course, our distinguished VIPs who've taken time out of the busy schedules to be with us. And most importantly, the one-woman show who's always been behind everything. Please, Anya Duchateau from the European Parliament, stand up. This is all thanks to you. And has made this event happen, namely our technical team was always behind the scenes. It's been so great in managing the live stream and everything related to audiovisual. Thank you so much.